Hey, what's up, guys? Zach with ZR Chess. Today we're going over the Sicilian Dragon. A great opening for black. The Sicilian in general is considered one of the best replies to e4. So it's definitely worth mentioning and worth studying a little bit. The Sicilian is very sharp in the sense that there are a lot of different lines. A lot of people like to memorize the different lines, but some of the different variations you can kind of just go off of ideas to make it easier on yourself. And the dragon is one of those that we can choose to just go off of ideas, almost like the London, where you don't have to know that this move goes after this move necessarily as much as you need to know these ideas and kind of where you want your pieces to end up. So we will go ahead and get into this. Remember, if you like the video, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to me. So let's see. So obviously white starts off with e4 to get here, and the Sicilian in any shape or form is c5 reply. And then from here, normally what you're going to see is knight f3. And from here we can go into the dragon. Now, sometimes white likes to go bishop c4. If white plays this, I normally do not like to play the dragon, and I'll show you why. The best reply to c4 here, eyeing down on this pawn that's protecting the king, is just e6. Now, this move for white isn't that great because after e6, the bishop kind of just looks silly here. He's not doing anything. We could come up here in one turn and already play d6 and win this square for our pawn. So it's not a great move for white. Usually after this, he'll come in with, knight c3 or knight f3. And if he does that, the reason we don't want to just play g6, like doing something like the dragon, is because we've now created this hole here, and it's a weakness for our pawns, and it's a weakness that can be exploited the rest of the game. I've played this before and gotten in trouble with the dark square bishop getting in here, or a knight late in late game, and it's not a pawn chain you want to have on your king side with this pawn being moved already. Not to say you can't win like that, but I don't like to play that way. So I recommend, if it comes about like this, just playing the normal Sicilian and playing knight f6. But we're talking about the dragon, so let's get down to business. So knight f3. So from here, we're going to go ahead and play d6, protecting our pawn and stopping this advancement of the pawn. Now, normally d4 comes after that, fighting for the center, and you're going to see this a million times playing the Sicilian. And then we're going to take, and the knight will take. And then we're going to play knight f6. Now, this he still can't bring his pawn in. We're attacking the pawn. He needs to defend. Most likely he's not going to do it with the bishop, tying up his bishop that way, or the queen or anything. The most common move you're going to see is just knight c3. This is a typical Sicilian position. So what signifies this from other Sicilian positions is our next move, which is the dragon. Not g5, g6. g6. And they call it the dragon because you've got this shape here that looks like it could be a dragon's body and, wavy or whatever. But this is the dragon. We're going to fianchetto our bishop, eye down on this whole diagonal, and then we're going to create counterplay on the queen side with our pawns and this open file, this half open file here. Our rook is good and queen are going to try to take advantage of. So from here, you're usually going to see bishop e3. This is the best move that white can do. Sometimes you will see bishop b5 check, and if you see this, that's fine. Then it is called the canal attack. What you can go ahead and do is play bishop d7, just neutralizing this right away. If he decides to take, you take with the knight, and you're thrilled. You're controlling these two squares right now with your knight. This is a great position, and he's kind of down in development. He just wasted his bishop, his light square bishop, which is a stronger bishop, and you got your knight out in play. So normally that's not going to happen. Normally it's bishop e3. So once played bishop e3, we're going to go ahead with our original plan. Bishop G7, getting this fianchetto and setting up the dragon so we can castle. And then the best move for white here, and what you'll probably see most often, is F3, protecting this pawn and solidifying the center. Now, sometimes you might still see this bishop 5 check, b5 check, and you can do the same thing as we did before that and just go into it. So F3 is what you're normally going to see. From here, we have two moves we can do. So we can castle, which is the main line, and then from here, queen d2 is the main line, or we can play a kind of subtle move, a6, and this is the principle behind the Najdorf opening of Sicilian, which we're not going to get into because that's a whole different bag of tricks. So we're going to play a6, and what this is doing is taking back this b5 square. If you see, this b5 square is attacked by 1, 2, 3 pieces. He can get his bishop in there, he's getting knights in there, and we're just going to go ahead and put this pawn here and say, no, you're not going to do that, and we're going to start a pawn storm and push the rook over and try to destroy your queen side. So that's kind of a subtle fun move to do, but the main line is just castling. So after that, the main line is queen d2. And this is an interesting setup because often it sets up this right here, bishop coming to h6, and trying to trade off these bishops, you know, our main bishop that's protecting the queen or the king. And we can't just bring it back because then we lose our rook, and it's a whole ordeal. So there's a couple things I recommend there. First of all, we're just going to go ahead and play knight c6, which is a great developmental move. If he goes ahead and takes, then we just take back with the pawn. We're fine, no worries. Actually, we're quite equal in development. So normally he's not going to take that. Normally he'll just play something like, he'll just play something like a development move. But often you will see this come out prematurely and try to attack this bishop. So the plan for him is I take the bishop, and then he takes, and then, you know, I'm down my defender. Oh no, except that this queen was defending this knight. So now I can take this knight, and we're threatening to fork the king, so he'll have to come back up, and then we gain more center as we're protecting our knight. Beautiful move here by black, and white just blundered a whole piece and the center. So beware of that. Beware of that, especially if you're white. Make sure that you don't have any undefended pieces first. Might be better for white to exchange this off first and then try this move. Now, if he does try this move on you, then I don't recommend taking, because that's just giving him an extra move, and now you got to figure out what to do. What I recommend doing instead is not taking the bishop. Instead, do your thing. Make a development move, and let him take you. And then once he takes you, your king's on this nice little safe space. The queen can't come down here and get in your business anymore. Before, the queen was here on h6. Now the queen can't do that because you're going to take. And he's going to have to try to pawn storm or something. And your king's in a nice spot. He's tucked in behind these nice pawns. So nothing wrong with that at all. And we can eye down all this stuff. So this is the Sicilian for black. That's kind of an overview of it. There are different courses on like Chessable you can look up and see all the intricacies. There's over at least 20 different lines you can study, but this is the main line of it and what I like about it. So let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of Sicilian you like. Let me know if you like the dragon, if you play the dragon, and maybe there's something that I haven't put on here that you'd like me to go over. So like the video, subscribe to my channel to get new updates on these kind of videos. I will see you all later. Thanks.